736, Todd Jeffries and Don Pryor. You can join us at 512-836-0590. Check out Tech News, brought to you by Nerds in a Flash. Yeah, Apple is trying a new sign-in process for its iOS 13. The iPad OS 13 and the Mac OS Catalina beta testers for iCloud on the web. Yeah, the new process allows you to sign in to your account using Face ID or Touch ID. Tech experts say this feature is likely to be part of Apple's early efforts to test out a sign-in with Apple process. So there you go. That's in the making. Also in the world of tech news, police in New Jersey are tracking down a smartphone thief because, well, he left a clue on how to find him.
Authorities in Kearney, New Jersey got a call almost 2 months ago about a stolen iPhone. The police department just posted about it this past week on their Facebook page, including a photo of the thief, care of the thief. It's a close-up selfie that the crook took with the victim's phone, making a weird face with his eyes wide open, nose crunched, and lower lip sticking out, posting it through the victim's Instagram story. The brown-eyed, bearded man is seen wearing glasses along with a green fleece or jacket. Cops are asking for the public's help to call or email with any tips to find him. Ken Duffy, Fox News.
All right, there you go. Stupid is as stupid does.
Selfies, no matter what, at any cost.
That's right. 7:38 here on the Todd Don Show. And this story about Starbucks, a little bit more controversy. Remember, it was not too long ago, weeks ago, months ago, in which a group of African-American men, business owners, were meeting in a Starbucks, waiting for a client to show up kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they didn't buy any coffee, and Starbucks kicked them out.
Right.
Remember that? Mm-hmm. And then they had to shut down all Starbucks across the country to learn how to treat black people.
Yes. They had to have a sensitivity training day.
Apparently, the entire company had some issues.
Yeah.
So they had to shut down for the day. Well, now there's kind of another controversial issue affecting Starbucks. Starbucks has now apologized to 6 police officers who were asked by a Tempe, Arizona store employee to either leave or get out of a customer's line of sight on July the 4th. The employee told the officers that a customer just didn't feel safe in the presence of police officers. Yeah, the Tempe Officers Association Twitter post about the alleged incident sparked some backlash on social media with those in support of the officers using the hashtag boycott Starbucks or hashtag dump Starbucks. Now, Starbucks vice president said in an apology, what occurred in that store on July the 4th is never the experience your officers or any customer should have to experience, with the promise that the necessary steps will be taken to ensure a similar incident does not occur in the future.
You know, in this case, I don't really blame Starbucks as much as I just see two extremely ignorant people, is what I see. Two just absolute morons who don't know how things should work. I mean, obviously we have somebody that for whatever reason has a fear of police, and then we had an idiot Starbucks employee who agreed with him and tried to do something about it. It's certainly not Starbucks policy.
Well, we don't know exactly how this went down either. I mean, think about it. What if that Starbucks employee just walked by the police officers and made a joke? Yeah, that person over there, they're uncomfortable because you guys are here, and just went on about making coffee.
Maybe. Yeah, true.
I mean, we don't know exactly how this all went down. Maybe. And how brave of a Starbucks employee to go up to a group of police officers and say, hey, you guys might want to leave.
You have to leave.
Why
I'm
would you?
I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would anybody that makes $10, $12 an hour take on anything like this?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Your healthy skepticism there might be warranted here, because it is so hard to believe maybe that this went down a little bit differently than it's been reported.
Fernando is in Buda, but he's on the Todd Don Show, and that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I just want to say I don't think anybody's really afraid of the police. Anytime you get into altercations with the police, whether it's good or bad, everybody always believes the police. So I think what it is a bunch of people are just, they would rather avoid being around police, because in case something happens, they're going to go down, they're going to get arrested or whatever, and nobody really believes their side of the story.
You don't trust them, do you?
Well, it's not that. It's not that I don't trust them. If I was in fear of my life, or my kid was stuck in a car, fixing blow up, that's probably who I would call.
That's probably who you'd call.
Everyday life, you you wake up, you want to go home. You know, you wake up, you get out of the house, you want to go back to your house.
And Fernando, and Fernando, you feel that Buda, Texas is not that safe of a place where you may not make it home today because they have a Buda police department?
No, that's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm just saying
I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. I'm trying to give you a chance here.
Well, bro, when you see live videos of cops shooting people, running away from them, or you hear all these stories, I mean, eventually it takes its toll.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
It does.
Yeah,
I mean,
I hear what you're saying.
And until the good cops fucking tell the bad cops to stop their shit.
All right.
Hey, Fernando, come on, we're on the radio, man.
This isn't satellite radio.
Yeah, see, that's how they get. They get all worked up. He just hates the popo.
He does.
Fernando is a scary person out there in Buda, Texas. He doesn't think he's going to make it home because he can't trust the
Fernando.
He couldn't even have a conversation. The guy started dropping some F-bombs.
Take a deep breath.
Call back, Fernando. We really want to hear why you're so afraid of the police. This story took off like crazy locally on our social media. People weighing in with their comments, and some of them are pretty belligerent. Some had legitimate concerns. But we'd love to hear from you. Why do you hate the popo so much? Why do you get so scared when you see an officer in a uniform and a badge and a gun at a local coffee shop that you gotta get the hell out of there? Why are you so afraid? What's in your criminal history, Fernando, that makes you so afraid of cops? You can't just tell me because you've seen a cop do a bad thing in video on YouTube that's the reason. I mean, Fernando, have you always had a deep-seated hatred for law enforcement and authority figures?
He loves F-bombs.
He
I'll
does.
give you that.
He does.
He does like that.
Fernando, please, you can always call back. And if there's another Fernando out there that has an issue with the cops, we'd love to hear from you.
What a way to go through life.
Sad and miserable, man.
Come on,
it's
man.
a dark place.
Again.
I can't imagine going to Buda, Texas today. It sounds like a dangerous place.
I have a ton of peace of mind if I'm in a restaurant or any establishment and there are a lot of cops or any cops, a cop, doesn't matter. Gives me peace of mind. Period. End of story. That's you don't need to think any farther than that.
Yeah.
Fernando. Dude,
look at one of the articles here about these police officers in Tempe, Arizona. Apparently, the barista knew one of the police officers. So maybe my speculation could be right.
Right.
Maybe it really wasn't a Starbucks thing. Maybe it really wasn't an issue. It just became a social media issue.
Hey, you guys, y'all might want to get out of here. This woman's kind of nervous with y'all in here.
Yeah.
Maybe it was misinterpreted.
Possibly.
Maybe it was badly reported.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Stay with us. Coming up after we take a look at traffic and weather, as you know, the mayor of Austin, Texas, his name is Steve Adler.
Yes.
If you've never heard of him, his name is Steve Adler. He's going to Los Angeles because they have solved their homeless crisis.
Everything you've heard?
Yeah. There's no more Skid Row in L.A.
Right. Done.
They have solved their homeless crisis, and Mayor Steve Adler, he's on his way this week to Los Angeles to learn how they deal with the homeless problem out there. Maybe we can adopt some of those policies and procedures that the great state of California has.
Well, the way they went to Holland to look at their transportation systems out there,
Right.
Because Holland, it's so much like Austin.
Yes.
And Denmark and all. It's just very, very, very similar terrain and weather, everything. They know how to do it.
Got your tongue firmly planted in your cheek there.
It's stuck in it.
7:45 and a check on traffic. Here's Melinda.
Injury wreck over on East 71 at Ross Road continues to cause problems in both directions. We also have a stall reported Benoit eastbound at Woodward. The entrance ramp to 183 southbound from Oak Knoll is blocked and is causing heavy delays on the frontage road, and then a reported wreck at Palmer and Metric. Your next report's at 8:04. I'm Melinda Brandt with Austin's On-Time Traffic.
This segment brought to you by H-E-B. Texans can favor anything from Kirby Lane Cafe or H-E-B Beer and Wine to dry cleaning, allergy medicine, even a pool float. Want, need it, or just gotta have it? Favor it. Download the app and sign up today at favordelivery.com to get free deliveries for your first month.
I'm going to be out at 56, so you have Texan Allergy first, then there'll be one spot, then Inspire.
87 degrees this afternoon. Tonight, mainly clear. Temperatures will fall to a low of 76 degrees overnight tonight. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and very warm, high 97 degrees. Wednesday, another very warm day with plenty of sunshine and a high of 98. From the Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Licini.
This segment brought to you by Strand Brothers Service Experts.
Ready for your energy-saving AC tune-up? Call Strand Brothers Service Experts, your hometown Greater Austin HVAC pros. Right now, save $20 on an AC tune-up.
Call 866-EXPERTS.
License number TACLB 26365E M39879 DOJ VRL.
746, Todd Jeffries and Don Pryor.
Yeah.
Matt is in South Austin. Good morning, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
How you doing, guys?
Fine.
Good.
Fernando, I don't know what that person's background is. I'm a state jail felon, and guess what? You know what? Could you imagine what the world would be like without police officers? I mean,
No.
I would actually feel comfortable with police officers in an establishment that I was in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, listen, if you're in an establishment and you feel uncomfortable by anything, get up and leave.
yeah, that's your right to do so, and that Starbucks employee is probably an idiot, and the person who probably complained to him is probably an idiot. I would feel comfortable with police officers being in a restaurant that I was in.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
guess what? Do you remember the Louis incident, 12 years ago, when someone walked in with a firearm and started killing people?
Sure.
Yeah, I would feel comfortable with a police officer being there.
Yeah.
And those people who complain about namby-pamby BS like that, they have some problems.
Well, Fernando is the snowflake of the day. That's all we got to say there. Let's see.
Bro.
John in Georgetown. Hey, John, good morning.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Fine.
I discovered something in Killeen a while back. Well, not actually recently. We never had very many homeless people. Suddenly they closed the homeless shelter, and then some private enterprise takes over the homeless shelter, and coincidentally, we now have a growing population of homeless.
John, I know exactly what you're talking
the
about.
actual people that might be homeless in Killeen, because we don't usually have homeless people. I just find that interesting, and I'm wondering if this private entity is getting money from the state or the government based on how much the head count.
Listen, I know exactly
Have you
what
ever
you're
heard anything
talking.
like that before?
Yeah, and I'm trying to tell you. We've talked about it just a couple of weeks ago. Their homeless shelter there in Killeen shut down, and then a private group came in to run it, but they need money. In fact, they got a GoFundMe account set up where they're trying to raise money to get back open. And we brought this up a couple of weeks ago because I can only assume that if you're homeless in Killeen and the shelter is shut down, well, you're just going to make your way down to Austin where the shelter is, right?
Of course.
I mean, they're just going to make it this direction. They'll stop in El Salado, they'll stop in Georgetown and Round Rock, and then make their way on down to Austin.
A horse drawn to water.
He's absolutely right. Yeah. I mean, Round Rock, Leander, Bastrop, and those areas, they have pockets of homelessness as well. And when their resources dry up, man, they make it this way.
I'm sure there are a few cities that don't have some element of homelessness. But yeah, you get rid of the draw, you get rid of the bait, and it kind of some things will take care of themselves.
Well, Austin Mayor Steve Adler, as you know, he's going to Los Angeles to meet with the mayor in Los Angeles because apparently they have solved their homeless crisis.
Everything you've heard is true.
The mayor, he says our current rules when it comes to homeless are not going to change, no matter how much pushback you give him. He's digging in big time. He spoke with KView.
Mayor Steve Adler says there are some flaws.
We know the status quo is not working. It's not like suddenly we had a homelessness challenge last week.
Which is why he pushed to loosen the city's homelessness rules and keep more homeless people out of jail.
All that does is it just moves people around the street. It's like playing whack-a-mole.
So it happened, and APD has adjusted.
If the person is not blocking the doorway or not blocking the sidewalk or presenting a health and safety risk or danger, then we don't have the legal authority to ask that person to do anything.
But Assistant Chief Justin Newsom also says there have been some homeless people who do misunderstand.
There's going to have to be an educational piece of this with the homeless population too, so that they're not camping in places where they could, end up in bigger trouble than an ordinance.
Mayor Adler says incorrect information and misleading photos on social media have caused people to misunderstand what exactly has changed.
It confused people, it misleads people, it misled our governor. Who thought that it was true and tweeted about it. People have to really be careful about where they're getting their information.
Homeless people still cannot endanger someone's safety, block walkways, or be aggressive.
You're not allowed to scare people. You're not allowed to threaten people.
But the changes in effect today, Mayor Adler says those are here to stay.
We have ordinances in place. We're not going to change them. We're going to find the right solutions and the right balance. It does not mean that everything we try is automatically going to work. But we're going to start trying stuff.
Yeah, going to start trying some stuff.
Oh, that's specific.
We got to get some stuff in here we're going to be trying.
Finally, you're on to something. You're going to try stuff.
It is so ironic that he's going to Los Angeles.
It really is.
A city that's been plagued by homelessness for many years, and it's only gotten worse in the past few years.
That's what they're known for now.
But also the mayor, Mr. Garcetti, is facing a recall petition for his mismanagement and handling of the homeless issue.
Right.
It's a much bigger crisis there. And the mayor of Austin's going there to find out what we can learn here. Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti is being targeted for removal from office over his handling of the homeless crisis. It was just last month, Alexandria Deckard, she's a political commentator who is leading this effort, told reporters at a news conference outside City Hall in L.A. that the mayor was served with a notice of intent for recall, the first step in a long-shot attempt to get him booted out of office.
This is going to affect tourism in Austin. It's certainly going to affect the convention business. There's no doubt because L.A., San Francisco, Seattle, they are prominently now known for the homeless situation, and that is what Austin is on its way to. Do you want to go to L.A. or San Francisco or Seattle right now? Would you like to go on vacation there? I sure as hell wouldn't.
According to the latest count, homelessness has swelled 16% over the past year in Los Angeles. They say largely because of the shortage of affordable housing. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And there's a renewed concern about disease and filth as more people bunk down on L.A. streets.
Yep.
Sleeping in alleyways.
Yep.
Critics have questioned whether the mayor is treating the homeless problem with enough urgency. The mayor announced plans just last year to build 15 shelters in Los Angeles to get people off the streets, but they have been very slow to open up. Also, voters in 2016 approved Proposition HHH, $1.2 billion bond to build 10,000 units of housing for the homeless in Los Angeles. 10,000 homeless units.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty amazing.
Yep, and it will help a lot of people, and it'll also make the problem worse at the same time. We'll have more homeless in Austin as a result.
Now, Garcetti argues that the region has built tens of thousands of housing units in recent years, and that the crisis would be worse without the city's efforts under his leadership. In a letter to his constituents just last month, he took full responsibility for the city's response to the homelessness that he even calls a crisis. The mayor asked people about the recall effort by reporters just last week, and people know the difference between political games and actually doing the work, and he's busy doing the work, he says.
Well, as I said, we had someone in from out of town over the weekend, and I got to hear the reaction as we drove around downtown, the reaction of the result of what she was seeing, and it wasn't good. It was not what I want someone coming to Austin for the first time to see. And especially downtown. It's unavoidable downtown. You are going to see it. There's no doubt.
Lisa is in South Austin on the Todd Don Show. I think she has something to say about the Starbucks story, the controversy involving some police officers in Tempe, Arizona. They were asked to leave because one customer may have been uncomfortable by the uniform.
Can't have that.
Right, guys. Yeah, thanks. Listen, I worked back in the mid-'90s in a restaurant in South San Antonio. And the owner there, the manager there, regularly would either feed police officers for free or give them a pretty big discount just to have them in the restaurant.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it is a benefit to have police officers eating in your restaurant to avoid any kind of situation. You know, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and they were, I always felt safer when they were in there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it turns out this story out of Tempe, one of the police officers may have known the Starbucks employee. So it may have been what I thought originally, just kind of a offhanded joke. Hey, guys, that lady over there, she's a little uncomfortable by your uniform.
Y'all might want to leave.
And have a little laugh and then, whatever.
Yeah.
But apparently they were told to leave is what the story is.
Well, certainly that's not Starbucks policy. I think we can all agree on that.
Right.
That they've done some stupid things in the past couple of years, but they're not that dumb.
Yeah.
Remember they were encouraging their employees to strike up a conversation about race relations. Remember that?
That's good. That's good. It is 7:56.
The Todd and Don Show.
Todd Jeffries here, and I want to tell you about my friends at Texan Allergy.